Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustus, and I'm here again with another episode of Tsukihime. When we last left off, we had just finished with the prologue, introducing our main character, as well as his special ability. Now, without further ado, let's get to the story proper. Inversion Impulse 1. Autumn. The last traces of summer are disappearing today, a Thursday halfway through October. This is the day when I, Tonoshiki, return home. It's been 8 years since I left. Shiki, hurry up. You're going to be late for school. I hear Keiko-san's voice floating in from the kitchen. Okay, I'm leaving, I call back. I place my hands together in the room that was mine at the Arimas up until now. I'm going. Thanks for letting me live with you these last 8 years. Clap, clap. I fold my hands together in prayer. Then, grabbing my only bag, I leave the room that had become so familiar. I walk through the entrance to the Arima's house and then turn to face it. Shiki. Keiko-san, who had come to the door to see me off, calls my name somberly. See you later. Take care, Mom. What a strange thing to say. I won't be coming back. Never again will I pass through this door as a member of the Arima family. Thanks for looking after me. Please give my regards to Father, too. Keiko-san simply nods. 8 years. The eyes of the person who had been my mother so long look so sad. I don't think I've ever seen her like that before. I'm sure it'll be hard for you at the Tono's house. Please watch yourself. Your body is weak. You mustn't overdo it. I'll be okay. After 8 years, I'm just as healthy as anyone else. I'll hold you to that, Shiki. I'm a lot tougher than I look. I suppose you're right, but the Tonos are different from everyone else. I'm worried they'll be too much for you. I know what Keiko-san means. My home from today forth will be a mansion, an uncommon sight in this day and age. Not only is the house amazing, but the family itself is highly respected. It's said they hold significant investments in many corporations. To top things off, it's my true home. The Arimas have only been looking after me. But it's already decided. Yeah, it's something that's decided already. Alright, I'll be heading off then. Thanks for taking care of me. I repeat those words one last time and turn my back on the household I had grown so accustomed to over these past 8 years. Sigh. I leave the Arimas and start walking to school with a heavy heart. 8 years ago, I recovered from a serious injury that normally would have meant death. Then I was entrusted to the Arimas, a family branching off from the Tono family. I had lived with my real parents at the Tono mansion up until I was 9. Then I lived with the Arimas for 8 years until now, my second year of high school. I lived a normal life as an adopted son. From the time I met Sensei, those special circumstances Sensei told me about never happened, and the glasses hid the lines from me as long as I wore them. The life of Tonoshiki was a peaceful one. It meandered along gently until a few days ago. The day when the head of the Tono family sent word to me, return to the Tono mansion. The very family that, until now, had shunned me. Sigh. I sigh again. To be perfectly honest, even before the accident, I had never gotten along with the Tono household. Maybe as a kid, I never liked the formality demanded by the family. Perhaps that's why I said nothing when the old man told me I was going to live with the Arimas. I think it turned out well. I got along with my adopted parents, Keiko-san and Fumio-san, it was as if they were my real parents. I lived a normal life in the loving family of the Arimas like a real son, just like I had always wished. I don't regret living there. Except for one thing. My little sister, 1 year younger than me, remained behind with the Tonos. Akia, I bet she hates me now. It would be only natural. She had to live in that mansion all by herself, under the constant supervision of that hard-headed old man. I could easily imagine what Akia thought of me, the one who had escaped. I let out another sigh. I can't help it. What's going to happen? Well, will happen. Today, after school, I'll return to my home. Lord knows where it'll occur. And for now, I've got more pressing problems. My watch shows 7:45. Homeroom starts at 8 o'clock sharp, and anyone who isn't in class by 8 is marked as late. Clutching my bag, I start sprinting towards school. I managed to make it to school in less than 10 minutes. I enter from the back gates, accomplishing a feat that would bring the track scouts running if they knew. Come to think of it, today is the last day I'll come in through the back gate. The Arima and the Tono houses are on opposite sides of the school, with the Arimas being behind while the Tonos is in front. Obviously, I'll be coming through the front gate in the future. And I quite like the lonely atmosphere back here too. For some reason, the back gate at our school isn't really popular. Only 10 people or so, myself included, actually use it. It's quiet and pretty devoid of people, day or night. Clang, clink, clink, clang. Like I said, it's pretty quiet. The sound of a hammer mixed with the distant birds singing reaches my ears. Hammering, huh? Clang, clink, clong. A half-rhythmical ringing comes from one corner of the courtyard. What is that? Homework begins in less than 10 minutes. I don't have time to stop and find out, but I am pretty curious. Right now, we have our first choice of the game. There's only a few minutes to homeroom. I have to head right there. I have to head there right away. But 2, I'm curious, so I'll go take a look. To me, the better option points-wise for racking up regard for the character we want and making sure we don't have too much with the character we don't want would be to choose this option, number 1. But I personally feel that option 2 is the best option for the near side routes, as they're normally called. So we will choose that. I'm curious, so I'll go take a look. The source of noise soon becomes apparent as I walk towards the courtyard. A female student is crouching in the middle of a tree-lined path, working with a hammer and nails. What is she doing? There's only a few minutes left until homeroom. Maybe she doesn't have a watch? At that moment, that's the best I can come up with. Still, to notice and then just ignore her would be somewhat cruel. I approach her unhurriedly, trying not to surprise her, and speak. Hey, homeroom's starting soon. Huh? The squatting girl raises her face. The ribbon on her uniform displays the color of a third year. The older student looks at me while holding a hammer. Her gaze through those glasses is so direct, I feel like I'm being pulled in, Her serious eyes make me want to apologize for bothering her. The splint she was facing is rotten beyond use. Come to think of it, our school's rear courtyard is in a terrible state of disrepair. We've had too much wine. The splints are neglected and the flower beds unattended. A Apparently, the teachers intend for the students to conduct a big cleanup at the end of the school year, so the maintenance men have done nothing since summer. I take in the situation with a single glance. The girl with a hammer is repairing the broken down splints, paying no mind to the fact that her tidy uniform is being dirtied. She has sweat on her brow, and it looks like she's been swinging her hammer in the most serious manner. But as far as I know, there is nobody in charge of repairing public property at this school. Well, other than, the maintenance workers, but I don't know, maybe Japan's a bit different. I don't know. What is it? The older student asks, adjusting her crooked glasses. It's nothing. I was just wondering what you were doing here. As you can see, I'm in the middle of fixing the splints. Yeah, I can see that. That's not what I meant. I was wondering why you were doing something like this. Won't the maintenance people take care of it anyway? The older student laughs to hide her embarrassment. I'm the kind of person who can't stand seeing a mess like this. I just can't leave them alone. It seems as though she is repairing the splints because she just couldn't let them stay that way. What an odd senpai. That's why you're fixing it on your own? If you don't like the mess, why not just avoid coming here? Well, my classroom is over there. Senpai points at the second floor classroom facing the courtyard. My seat is next to the window, so it's easy for me to see the courtyard. Well, I usually just bury it, but when I took my seat today, I was surprised to see all the splints in the area were broken. Senpai's face clouded, as if to say, "Isn't that terrible?" Apparently, she's upset, although she doesn't look seriously angry. You know what they say, strike while the iron's hot and all. I borrowed the tools from the office and decided to fix them myself. And so, the explanation ends. Making a bow, Sensei returns to hammering the nails. Alright, I understand that, but how about we leave it here for now? Homeroom is in less than 5 minutes, and if it's that bad, won't the school get around to fixing it pretty soon? No way! Gripping her hammer, the senpai with glasses shakes her head furiously. I won't be able to concentrate with a garden like this, even if I go to class. It'll just sound like nonsense to me, and then the teacher will say, "Hey you, what are you staring at?" And I'll get yelled at, or for sure. Senpai continues to grip the hammer while she emphasizes her point. Well, I suppose the teacher would be upset if you kept looking outside. Shiki doesn't seem very convinced. He would, wouldn't he? That's why I have to do it now. With that, Senpai begins her repairs once again, clumsily hammering away. She's obviously not used to using a hammer. Clank, clank rings the hammer as it hits the wood. By the looks of it, there isn't just 1 or 2 broken splints. I can't begin to guess how long it will take her to repair all of them on her own. The bells begins to ring. Looks like first period started. I give up, considering things have gotten to this point. I sit down silently and begin to help repair the splints. Once I begin to help, I quickly realize mending them isn't that difficult after all. Although the older student is not used to making repairs, she is quite skillful anyway. She has already gotten the hang of it, and work is proceeding at a brisk pace. Senpai's movements are quick and sharp, and I enjoy watching her. She really is quite clever. Before I knew it, there was only 1 splint left to repair. 30 minutes have passed. I can't stay here any longer, and only 1 more would be no problem for Senpai. Well, I'll be going. I stand up and dust off my pants. The student with the glasses also stands up and begins to stare at me. Come to think of it, just who is she? I haven't given it any thought because of what I was doing, but when I stop to consider her, I realize she is quite beautiful. Someone this good looking would be known by every male student. They'd be talking about a third-year beauty. I have to go. Don't work too hard, senpai. She gives me an obedient nod. Even though she's older than me, it's almost like dealing with someone younger. Thank you for helping me. I'm glad you did. She makes a quick bow. I'll be sure to come say hello during lunch. Don't forget to wash your hands, Tono-kun. You too, senpai. With that, I wave and leave. Wait. Huh? Have I met you before, senpai? Senpai cries out in surprise and mischievously puts on a depressed face. Tono-kun, you've forgotten about me? Forgotten? No, I don't think so. If I'd ever met a beautiful woman like her, there'd be no way I'd forget. She looks up at me reproachfully. Those eyes, I'm sure I remember them from somewhere, don't I? Come to think of it, we had exchanged greetings once or twice before, hadn't we? Ciel senpai, isn't it? Apprehensively, I suggest her name. Yes, and I'm glad you remember it. You seem the type to space out and forget, Tono-kun. I don't think I space out, but there's nothing I can do about the fact that I forgot. See you later then. Sorry to keep you waiting. Ciel senpai bows again. I watch her go, then start to walk towards the school building. When I reach my class, it's already the break after first period. I slip into the classroom while everyone's busy talking. My desk is the window seat in the very back row, so I can sneak there without drawing any attention. And when attendance is taken in the second period, everyone will probably just say, "Hey, when did Tono get here?" It's a strange quirk in an otherwise dull class. But I guess that plan won't work this time. Yo, truant boy. It's totally unlike you to be late. I sigh. It feels like reality is being hammered back into me after the pleasant time I spent with senpai. What's with that sour face of yours? Being late when I'm actually on time? What do you think you're doing? Hey, listen, I'm not coming to school for your sake, you know. What? But I'm coming to school for your sake? That's so unfair. Words fail me. I wonder, like I have many times before, how I ended up knowing this guy. His hair dyed orange, his ears pierced, his vicious glare that screams he will pick a fight with anyone, anytime, and is wearing a rebellious clothes. Inui Arihiko's the only free-spirited outlaw in our university-oriented high school. We've been bitter enemies since middle school, right? If you make a carefree face like that in front of your rival, you'd better be prepared for trouble. In any case, Arihiko is a loud guy. Yo, morning Tono. Before I knew it, everyone in class is looking my way and greeting me. Shut up, Arihiko. You're ruining my chance to slip into class unnoticed. And why am I your rival anyway? There are plenty of other tough guys around, so stop bothering me. Well, he still owes me close to 10,000 yen from middle school, so I guess that does make him my enemy. Why are you only mean to me, Tono? You're like a saint to everyone else. It's not fair. What, you just figured that out? Life's not fair. You really are only mean to me. I didn't try particularly hard to be cold to Arihiko. That's just the kind of relationship we have. By the way, Arihiko, what's a chronically late night owl who never shows up until second period doing here in homeroom? It's a little No, it's very odd. I was thinking that too. I guess being at school on time isn't just for when I happen to wake up early. Well, I won't comment on your hobbies, but what I'm asking is why you woke up early. Why I woke up early? I guess it's because I can't stay out late since all the fuss started, so I actually go to sleep at night now. You heard the stories about those serial killings, haven't you? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end off this episode. What are the serial killings that are being mentioned? Why does that raise a flag if you know anything about general storytelling? Find out that and more next time. I hope to see you there.